What is going on YouTube? Headed back making another brand new crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP More specifically, we're going to be focusing on XRP as well as BTC. As you guys know, we left off a couple of days ago in regards to finding a very interesting pattern that was forming on Bitcoin, as well as it being synced up and linked with XRP in regards to the fact that when we saw Bitcoin drop in price, so did XRP, and it became quite apparent that Litecoin and Ethereum weren't really affected by this drop at all, which meant we need to spend a keen eye on focusing on Bitcoin as well as XRP. Also today we're going to be talking about this backed Bitcoin futures daily trading volume hitting new record, which is something of quite interest, and I do want to discuss it with you. I feel like a lot of people are associating this with the reason why Bitcoin and XRP did fall, or more specifically obviously Bitcoin falling. Now for those of you who are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up. Remember, we do a giveaway for $25 of free Bitcoin every Friday. All you have to do to enter is make sure you're subscribed and comment hashtag CryptoTV down below to be entered. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. So guys, obviously quick recap on the channel before. You'll notice the past week or so, we've been discussing this very interesting move within XRP. We then saw the move. We figured out at the end of this major 4-hour ascending triangle, we broke bearish and started to retrace lower. It was also happening at the same time Bitcoin within its 4-hour descending fractal decided to hit a resistance and fall lower. So in today's episode, we're going to be comparing, obviously, once again, Bitcoin to XRP, as well as discussing some of the other major moves and things happening on the current market cap as well as within the crypto space. So you'll notice with this top 10 crypto page loaded up, the current coin market cap, you'll see the coins that are being slightly moved and the ones that are pretty much in sync. You'll notice Ethereum is acting totally inversely compared to Bitcoin. Same thing with Litecoin. Litecoin is moving up while the other cryptos are trading sideways. But you'll notice XRP and Bitcoin look almost identical. It's pretty crazy. You can see we had sideways movement, a drop, and then we had more sideways movement. Same thing with Bitcoin. Sideways, we had a drop, and then we're consolidating out. So they're pretty much in sync, which is why I say we have to pay a big eye and big focus on XRP and Bitcoin specifically, because they do act as the same. So in regards to that, we're looking at XRP right now, and you'll notice what is pretty much happening. We're on the daily, but I'll zoom into the 4-hour to get us a better view. You'll notice we're seeing a small bullish crossover on the MACD, just so you can see the blue band crossing over the orange, which is slightly bullish. You can see we easily and obviously broke bearish out of this major 4-hour ascending triangle that formed, and you can see we pretty much hugged a support down here at around 27 cents, and we've pretty much been trading sideways. There's not really an exact pattern in regards to what we can track off of XRP, which makes it kind of difficult if you're only focusing on XRP. That's why I say look at other coins that are in sync with XRP, find their pattern, and then use that and correlate it with XRP, and you can pretty much draw a conclusion as to where, or a map of where these cryptos are probably going to move to. So obviously we know XRP and Bitcoin look the most similar, so we're going to discuss what exactly is going to happen. So like I've said in previous videos, right now, as you guys saw in the title, we're discussing the next major move. And obviously I do think there will be another major move, and it will be quite bullish, because you'll notice if we look at Bitcoin and consider that these moves are very similar to where XRP has been moving with its big moves right here, you'll notice it's very similar. We have this consolidation, sideways movement. We have a pop, more sideways movement, pop, descend, pop, pop. Same thing. It's very similar to Bitcoin. So that's why it's best to use Bitcoin. This is a little bit easier to graph. You'll notice each gain that we had was up quite a bit in terms of percentage gain. This was a 9% gain. We have a 10% gain right here. We have an even bigger one. Obviously I can't track it all, but you can see this one is more or less like, we'll close it up at here, 31% gain. If you wanted to be really like crazy about it, you can consider that we shot all the way up to here, and this is about a 40% gain. So you'll consider that by the end of this the fourth bearish fractal we can see here, there should be some sort of pop in volume at the end of this. Why am I saying that? Well, notice every single fractal in the past has broken bullish on here. Then we remember that XRP acts the same way and is in sync with Bitcoin. So by the time Bitcoin gets to the end of its descending fractal and decides to move up in volume, the same thing will happen with XRP. So for those of you who want to consider where we could potentially go, when we could potentially go, you have to consider when we broke out. And I've said this in my past couple of videos, but you'll notice we tend to be oversold when the breakout arises, and it's more specifically on the daily charts. When the daily becomes oversold, that's when we see the pop. The daily has to be oversold, that's when we see the pop. Oversold, that's when we see the pop. Notice the reason we didn't see the pop at the end right here is because we're only at 50 on the RSI. So what we're waiting for right now is obviously some sort of confirmation when we become oversold in the RSI to then buy in and experience this major breakout. Now this could be fairly soon. Obviously you can see this very quickly went from 43 to 31 in a matter of days, I'd say about 5 days. So we can consider that this level right here, if we go to the date range, we can see, let's just assume it's going to be right here. This is about 11 bars or 11 days. This could even be down here. It could be at 8 bars. It could be at 7 bars. It could even be at 5 bars. We don't know exactly when the point of oversold will be, but when Bitcoin does decide to be oversold, that is going to be the key buy-in area. And then we'll we'll buy in and sell off at the top, capitalizing off this major run right here. So we could easily experience a major burst. And if we notice each time the breakout has happened, it's bigger than the previous. Since we closed at around, I'd say this was 30%, we went up to like 45%. We could easily see like a 60% gain retracing back to 40 or a little bit higher, 50%. So there is obviously major volume headed our way. Obviously each breakout is higher than the last, and we could easily see a pop above $10,500 within Bitcoin. And obviously XRP breaking 30 cents very easily if we do get that volume we're looking for. So right now, guys, we're looking for the consolidation before we see any sort of major, burst to the upside. Honestly, you'll notice after this breakout, our breakdown happens, similar to previous breakdowns, we tend to consolidate sideways. So that's what we're looking for. This is going to end up building a support. So we're probably going to just be finding either a support or resistance trending sideways, and then we'll see that dip that we're looking for. We'll see the dip down to the downside, followed by being oversold on the daily, followed by this major, pump to the upside. So that's merely what we're looking for right now. Now it's a waiting game. We're looking for the consolidation. I'm not buying in. Then eventually we'll fall down and see that burst to the upside. Otherwise, I want to give a huge shout out to Pitmans for sponsoring today's episode, guys. Pitmans is an awesome platform that I've been partnered with for quite some time now. For those of you who don't know, and those already know, Pitmans is pretty much a digital asset. It's not a physical diamond, it's actually a digital diamond using blockchain technology to back it, which means that each diamond that's formed is pretty much a one of one. Yes, they will be releasing more as time continues, but the ones that are already in existence, that is it. That's one of one. Obviously, they've been around longer, so they accumulate more money and more value. You can see on the marketplace, people tend to sell these afterwards. Each one is open to the market when it's first generated at around $10. And notice there's a cap to how many Pitmans are actually out. So once they're all out, that's it, and then they become extremely collectible. Obviously, this is, no, I wouldn't say fairly new, but it is a new company. It's been around for quite some time now, over a year, and you'll notice that the ones that have been out are fairly expensive now. They started off at 10 and they're $378, $365. These are all for sale that you can purchase and obviously expect to see major gains in volume. They have purities, which means that they are pretty much a one of one, and the price is depicted on the algorithm that backs the purity of each diamond. Let's see if this explains it. So you can see here, we have the ID, color scale, we have the crown, hexadecimal, texture, contrast, sharpness. Obviously, all these go into an account with an algorithm that accumulate how much value it is over time. And then I would like to show you guys my Pitmans because this is awesome as well. So let's let this load out. So you can see these are my Pitmans that I actually own and hold on to. And you can see that they've accumulated quite a bit of volume and value over the time that I've bought them. So you can see the purchase was was in February 27th. It was generated, which means it came to the market on the 22nd, and you can see it's had 1,300% gain since then, which is massive. The $10 investment is now $145, and over time they do accumulate. And I know a bunch of you guys have also already bought Pitmans and are starting to see their volume increase and their value increase over time. And it's as simple as clicking this and then clicking sell, which will then be added to the open market for purchase, and then you can claim it. It gets added right into your, I believe it's PayPal, and then you can basically get cashed out on that. So it's a pretty awesome website with tons of different options. You can see all of my Pitmans have increased in value. So I highly recommend you check them out. They're the first link in the description. Once again, huge shout out for Pitmans for sponsoring today's episode. Otherwise, to continue where we left off, you'll notice, like I said, we have, I'd say 10 days max, maybe 9 days max in terms of the end of this major descending fractal. But when we do decide to breach and hit oversold, that's when I'll be buying in, and it will be exploding in price. Right now, there's not really much I'd say we can do. We're going to go flatline for probably the next couple of days as we see sideways movement. Obviously, I'll alert you if anything major happens, but we're going to be experiencing some sideways consolidation. We've seen here in the past that the price doesn't really move in between here for this was 5 days, almost 4.5 days, and you can see this is obviously a bigger fractal, which means we're going to have a bigger, explosion when that comes, and it will be to a major high level. So once we test oversold, or once we test the bottom here, that is going to be the biggest indicator of buying in and making a crap ton of money off of this. Now, how does one make a crap ton of money? Obviously, you need to play around with bigger margin, but notice once we hit down here, and we become oversold, that's the best buying opportunity to experience a major rally. So to talk about DueDEX and why I love DueDEX, for those of you who want in on buying and leverage trading, obviously to make money, you have to have money. Obviously, if you invest $100 and the price goes up 10%, you're not making much. But if you have $10,000 in here and the price goes up, you're going to make like quite a bit more, $300,000, $2,000, obviously a lot more. That is based on leverage trading. You can buy as well as short Bitcoin, and then you can make quite a bit of money leveraging this out. You can see I did have a position I closed with my trade history. You can see I bought I shorted $400 or $800 worth of Bitcoin and sold at 95. So I bought it at 96. Sorry, I bought it at 96. I sold at 88 right here, which made me about a 20% gain. And I leverage traded it, which means I doubled my value. Only had $400 to start, added another. So I had about $800 worth trading with, and I made quite a bit of profit. It's very easy and it's very awesome to do. So in regards to how Bitcoin is trending right now, we're waiting for this confirmation here. We honestly very well could short the retracement lower. You have to be very keen on this and very aware that we could see that, like I said, sideways trending, boom, or we could even see something like this. We can see it pull up and then fall. We could even see this pull up and fall. So you see the options that I'm saying? We could see this happen, fall. We can see this fall. We're really looking for a retestment of, obviously, the top resistance before seeing a retracement lower. Obviously, when we hit that top resistance, anticipate a retracement, we could short this. And then when we do decide to hit oversold on the daily, that's when we can long the coin with leverage options, obviously, and make quite a bit of profit off of that major uptrend swing too. Because I am definitely going to capitalize off this massive run here when this one comes to. So obviously that's going to wrap up today's episode, guys. Totally forgot about the backed Bitcoin thing. So to pretty much discuss with you what it is that I was referring to on here, in regards to, I don't even want to read more so what this is. Obviously, you can tell by the title, Bitcoin Futures daily trading volume hits new record. People are associating this news article with the fact that Bitcoin decided to flash crash down and lose quite a bit of price. And, what people are assuming is that because people are moving up in the back trades, it's inversely affecting the price and they're shorting it and they're whale making it fall. I don't think it's that accurate because we can clearly tell why we fell right here. We were hitting the resistance. We were all anticipating a retracement, or I was, and it just so happened that news came out at the same time, so people correlate it with the reason for the drop. But technical analysis clearly indicates why we broke bearish. It's been shown previously when we hit this, we break to the downside. We've seen it in the past, so it was almost anticipated and expected to happen right now. That's why I shorted. It wasn't because of this backed futures thing happening, but otherwise that is going to officially wrap up today's episode, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up. Remember, we're doing a giveaway for $25 of free Bitcoin every Friday. All you have to do to enter is make sure you're subscribed, as well as leave a comment, #CryptoTV, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.